Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the TV show EU Deal After Brexit. My name is Mathilde and I am here today with Perrine Maisterena and Emeline Gouault, two students in the Master 1 of International and European Law at the Faculty of Law of the University of the Catholic University of Lille. Good morning, Perrine. Good morning, Emeline.
Good morning.
So today we are here to discuss an important subject about Brexit, which is the trade deal after Brexit, and particularly through the prism of the automotive industry. So for you to know, this industry is an essential part of the UK's economy, representing 12% of its export on goods and accounting for more than 95 billion euros turnover. That is why there are many concerns about this. So firstly, can you help us understand what role the UK's membership to the European Union played for the British automotive industry?
Of course. What is important to understand is that the sector is highly integrated in the EU, meaning production is made through complex supply chains that are spread across Europe and imply multiple border crossing of vehicle components within the EU. Regarding finished vehicles, particularly UK is an export-led industry toward the EU market. Over half of the exported products goes there. This integration, both the production and the car market itself, has been made possible by the European single market, to which the UK had access by its EU membership. By reducing or removing internal barriers, this allowed the growth of export and import of automotive products on which automakers relied.
Yes, and another thing to add is that the UK automotive sector has become really attractive for foreign investment. And for example, Japan with Nissan or Toyota is really interested by assembled cars in the UK to export them in the European single market.
Mm-hmm. This explains the concern on this subject, and fortunately there is still 1 year to negotiate the future deal defining the relationship between the UK and the EU.
Yes, until the 1st January 2021 nothing will change, but uncertainty remains for the post-transition period. For now, the UK is negotiating to keep those advantages of friction-free trade while leaving the EU.
True, and within the EU, those advantages regard not only member states of the European Union, but also non-member states, right?
Yes, this is true, because by being a member state of the EU, the UK had access to trade with more than 160 different countries, and because through the EU memberships, they had preferential trade agreement with some big automotive countries, such as South Korea, Japan, but also Canada.
Mm-hmm. But pro-Brexit prospect that Britain will be able to sign new trade agreements with anybody they want, notably non-EU member state. What is your view on that?
One word, caveat. By leaving the EU, UK is no longer an essential trade partner. Consequently, it will have more weight on the negotiations, and the negotiations will be lengthy. This is without talking about the US versus China trade war that keeps the attention of these two giants of the automotive industry.
Mm-hmm. So now I would like to move to the heart of our subject, which is the trade deal after Brexit. What are the alternatives at the time to maintain the trade link between the EU and the UK?
A first alternative is a new free trade agreement with the EU itself. To that effect, it is not excluded that the UK applies to join the European Free Trade Associations, currently composed of Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. This would allow the UK automakers to have their goods imported freely on the single market, but without being part of the European Union.
Mm-hmm. And is there another predictable solution?
Yes, there is another alternative, which is a new custom union. It is characterized by a common internal policy on trade and a common import and export tariff with respect of non-members. This would allow to keep the elimination of custom duties, and this would also allow to preserve the just-in-time manufacturing process that allow UK to remain competitive.
So to summarize it all, For you, if so, what would be the ideal new trade deal? Are those two alternatives combinable?
Yes, free trade agreement and custom union are combinable. And it is actually the regime which are subject the EU member states, and it has even been one of the proposals for a post-Brexit settlement called Norway Plus. It would be profitable for the automakers by keeping and maintaining trade conditions that existed before Brexit.
Yes, and this Norway Plus option even fits with the government's willingness to establish an independent international trade policy by having a deal of greater scope and ambition than any existing deal. This will make the UK a de facto member of the EU, except for political representation.
Well, this is tricky, knowing that the UK automaker will have to reach the maximum regulatory consistency for question of efficiency.
Yes, or even to comply with the standards of the single market to be part of the European Free Trade Association.
Okay, well, on those words, thank you, Emeline and Perrine, for being with us today.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you for watching our TV show EU Deal After Brexit on trade after Brexit and the automotive industry. Goodbye.